There was a rather strange custom in a kingdom far away. You see, in the middle of the night, the officials from the royal palace would go out to a rural, impoverished area where there was only peasants and poor people and the like, and they would go to a bar there, and there at the bar they would pick out one of these men. They would give him so much to drink that eventually he would pass out. They would then grab him and throw him in a carriage, taking him back to the palace. Once back at the palace, they would wash him, change his clothes to royal garments, take him into a room only befitting a king, and put him there to rest. He would then wake up completely baffled and confused the next day, everyone referring to him as Your Royal Highness, bowing to him, giving him his every want and need. He would start wondering to himself, was that life that I knew as a poor peasant, was that a dream and now I've woken up to the reality being that I'm a king? Or was it perhaps that I'm still a poor person, just I've fallen asleep and now I'm dreaming that a king? Nevertheless, they would shake off the doubts and the concerns, and they would just say, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy this. I'm going to go with the flow, live like a king. At the end of 3 years, a similar thing would happen as before. The royal entourage would drink with this man who now thinks he's a king until he would get drunk, take his clothes off of him and replace it with the tattered clothing they had found him in, and put him back at that bar where they originally found him. And this was a bit of a practical joke that they just did. Then they would find a new person and bring him now to the castle, to the palace. Interestingly, one time they did this, and they got a man who while poor, was quite wise. He woke up like the rest of them, thinking to himself, what's going on? Am I dreaming and I'm still poor? Or am I now awake and the truth is I was always wealthy? That the dream was when I was poor. This wise man thought for a while and then came to a brilliant solution. He summoned one of the servants in the royal palace, and he pulled out $10,000 and he said, listen, you're going to tell me what's going on if you want this $10,000. So the servant got paid well, but not that well. He said, okay, I'll spill the beans. I'll tell you the truth. Every 3 years we do this. We get a new peasant, and then after 3 years, we'll take you back there. You'll be drunk. You won't know what's going on, and we'll pick someone new. This is how we entertain ourselves. This is something we do. So now this wise peasant had to think to himself, is it really the case that this man is telling the truth, this servant is telling the truth, and that after 3 years they will put me back where I came from, that is my real life as the peasant and this is some kind of practical joke? Or is he perhaps lying? Am I awake or am I asleep? Is this reality or is that reality? Nevertheless, he would say, you know what, just in case, let's do some stuff that will be of benefit to me. So what does he do? Unbeknownst to anyone in the palace, while playing this role of a king, he would funnel money out, and he would send it to a location that no one knew about. And he bought real estate there that no one knew about. Finally, at the end of 3 years, they put him in a drunken state and took him to return him to the bar where they found him in the tattered clothing. He awoke, realized what had actually gone down, and thankfully, because of his ingenuity, he now had a glorious real estate that no one knew about, with a whole lot of money waiting for him, enough to live out the rest of his days in luxury. What is the meaning of this parable? The meaning, perhaps, is that we come from the spiritual world, and then we wake up here and we're not sure, is this reality and that was fake, or is that reality and this is fake? Those that are less wise battle with this their entire lives, and they just go with the flow, assuming that while I'm here in this physical world, I might as well just do what people do here, act as people act here. But the wise amongst us know better, and just in case, they put into motion certain moves that just in case will be there for them afterward. Then, when they do leave this world, there is a palace waiting for them, and all the wealth from the good deeds and the Torah that they observed and studied in this world waiting for them. They did not squander. the opportunity.